Are you ready for more family fun and laughter this summer? The comedy quiz game show Generation Gap is back for another season here on WCPO 9, hosted by the one and only Kelly Ripa. And Kelly's here with us today to tell us more. So Kelly, for someone who maybe hasn't watched Generation Gap before, walk us through what to expect.
I will. So Generation Gap is a fabulous family-friendly game show where grandchildren compete against their grandparents. Sometimes it's a grandnephew and a grandaunt, or a grandfather and a grandchild. It is really testing the laws of knowledge in each other's generation. So we ask juniors questions about the seniors generation and vice versa. We have 3 teams this year, as opposed to last year we only had 2 families. This year we have 3 families, and they compete for money and prizes. And it really is kind of it's adorable. I keep using the word adorable, but I don't know how else to describe these families, because they really are very connected. They work together as a team. They don't frustrate with each other, and they know, shockingly, a lot about each other's generation. And then in the final round, we have what's known as our Tots Choice, where the youngest member of the family gets to choose an incredible bonus prize. If they choose the incredible bonus prize, we let them choose between a fun toy or an extraordinary bonus prize, whether it's a car or a glamorous trip or, a cottage, you name it, it's up to the tot. So it's kind of an amazing, thrilling conclusion to the game.
So what are you most excited for everyone to see this season? Are there any new elements to the game?
Yeah, we've added some, because we didn't want the contestants that may have paid attention to last season, and there were a lot of them. So, this year we mixed up the games. We added some elements to the games. Like I said, we added a 3rd team, and we totally changed up the Tots Choice game. That way, we weren't dealing with toddlers who've been instructed to go for the car. So now, now the tot has lots of different things to choose from. And, so it's still a surprise to everyone. And I will say that we did have, because when you give a toddler a choice between a toy and a prize, they're going to typically choose the toy every time. But a couple of times our toddlers chose things that they thought were toys that wound up being something really exceptional and extraordinary, quite by accident. And those are the moments that are the most fun and the most exciting. We also incorporated my dad into the studio this year. So my dad, Joe Ripa, is no longer playing his portion of the game from remote in his office. He is actually live in our studio. And that adds a dimension of spellbindingness that I can't really articulate.
Well, that's great. Your dad will be live in the studio for this.
He is the most fun. He really is the best part of the show.
What sets Generation Gap apart from other game shows on TV?
Like I said, this game show really is like a very family friendly. It's something that every generation can watch together. And I think it really does take a look at the greater familial connection that people are either striving for or have. I always say, like, my kids are so lucky because even though they're all adults now, they still have their grandparents. And I remember, when they were young, particularly how close they were, and they still are, to their grandparents, and watching that connection, that, watching my parents or my in-laws teach my kids things about from when they were small kids, games they used to play, teams they used to root for, and watching my kids tell my parents what music they listened to or what certain articles of clothing they hope to get for their birthday or whatever. And all of that sort of sinks in. And that's why this game is really so compelling, because the kids and the grandparents are always learning from each other's generations.
Well, Kelly, before we let you go, are you able to tease any guest stars for us?
I don't know if I'm allowed to, but we do. I will say that we have a wide variety from both generations of celebrities. And when the celebrity came out, walked out, or was Skyped in, two things happened. Either the seniors immediately knew who the person was, or the juniors immediately knew who the person was. But very few times did we have where like a senior knew who the junior's celebrity was and vice versa. So that was the one thing that was really like separated everybody, was that celebrity aspect. The seniors either knew exactly who the person was, or the juniors knew exactly who the person was. And we did like incorporate a few. If you follow me at all, you know who people I loved when I was like a teenager, when I was like growing up. You will see some of the people I loved the most when I was a kid represented as some of our secret celebs.
Well, we can't wait to watch. Thanks so much for talking with us today, Kelly. And you can watch the season premiere on Thursday, June 29th on WCPO 9.